Hello, everybody. It's 9 o'clock. And we are going live. So, hello, everybody. I'm going to just try to say hello in as many languages as I know until you join me, and you're welcome to ask questions. If you have specific questions, if you've done some of my trainings and you have specific questions, please join me on Zoom. The link is in the group and on my profile. And that way I can observe you, or if you want to ask me questions about your voice, I can listen to you. So if you want to join me on Zoom, that would be awesome. So good evening, hello, bonsoir, good afternoon, dobry wieczór. I don't know if I said that really correctly, but anyway, and good evening. I so apologize for last time that I thought there weren't any questions, and they were actually on my Facebook page instead of in the group. So feel free to put your questions on my Luke Enholm page or on hello, Annika, welcome. Yeah, I'm sorry about putting you on the spot. Annika just joined me on Zoom, which is really cool because that way I can see her and look at her beautiful face. Hi, Annika. How are you? I can't hear you, so you have to unmute. You're still muted, honey. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining. That's amazing.
We're doing this, but I mean, is Zoom the right place to be? I mean, I should be.
It is the perfect place to be, because that way, if you want to ask me some questions, or if you want to ask me questions about your voice or your verbal communication, I can actually see you, which is, hi, Eva. Oh, that's awesome.
Where are the other ones then?
The other ones, so some are on Facebook and some are on YouTube. It's actually super new to me too, to be streaming on that many channels, but it works super perfect. That way everybody can, join on their favorite channel. And don't feel obliged to stay on whatever you want. Feel free. Okay, no pressure. I do want to say, though, that if you want to look at the slides, please join me on Zoom, because that's where you're going to be able to see them.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to be able to enjoy the slides, Annika, with me. Yay! So we're going to talk about a topic that's like a little like, oh, why did you ask me that question, guys? Why did a lot of people on Facebook or private message, why did you ask me about lying? Oh, so we're going to talk a little about that today. Someone asked me, how can if you can tell if someone is lying, which is of course very important for everybody to figure out if the person that's in front of us is telling the truth or not. So stay on if you want to know more. First of all, we're just gonna dive into the fact that not everything is always as it seems. When we watch someone and we want to try to figure out if they're not telling the truth, because the fact is that oftentimes when we say something, so Gurdjieff, that was an Armenian, Greek Armenian thinker, he said it this way, that sometimes one side of me wants to do something, and he said we write out checks that then someone else has to pay for, because in that moment where people might ask you something, they might actually want to say yes to whatever you're asking them or proposing, but maybe inside they're not that sure about whether they can make it or not. So a yes can be a no or a maybe, but we want to we want to please each other, we want to be polite, and that's why sometimes it can be difficult to say no when we want to say no, and we tend to say yes more than we want to. Maybe we're going to look at what is body language that says yes, that confirms a verbal yes, and what is body language that says no. I mean, they should go together. Like if you say a no, your body should be going no, and if you say yes, your body should say yes. And when those two do not agree, that's where we have the problems, right? Okay. So someone, if you're joining me, just dot in the chat box that you're here, that you're listening. Okay, cool. So signs of yes. Annika, you saw the course, right, on the seminar, the Camera Consultant seminar. So you yes. Okay.
Your course within the Camera.
Yeah, the non-verbal workshop, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember any of the verbal sign, the non-verbal signs for yes?
Well, I mean, leaning in a bit.
Exactly. So body moving forward is a yes. Because like animals and kids, they will be super excited when they want something, they just go for it. Like they're gonna be in your face. I want it, I want it, I want it. So moving forwards, leaning in is definitely a super yes. Another thing is uncovering body parts. So if you roll up your sleeve like that, there's no change in temperature or whatsoever. So uncovering body parts. And why is that? Because we uncover body parts with people that we're comfortable with. Either we go to the beach or we're comfortable with whomever it is. So that is a huge yes. So lying. Let's say you ask someone if they want to go to the movies and they say yes. That is a yes. It's a yes. And if they say yes, it's not that sure, right? So it's not like they are lying, but they might want to do something different. They're not super excited about going to the movies, but they want to please you. We talked about this on Tuesday. So I'll move forward, open up. Everything that opens up when you have a closed stance like this, and then you open up. That can be with your legs too. You have legs crossed, and then you open up. That is a yes. You're interested in what is going on, what we're talking about. Touching your hair, putting it behind your ear like this is a yes. Or just touching your hair like this. Even people that are bald, they touch their forehead like this. And that's a sign. So fiddling with the hair, if you do this, you like to tie people to yourself. Like you like to have strong connections. And of course, it can also be like a habit, Annika. People, they develop different habits, and like touching your hair, it can be self-calming, self-soothing. If you're in kind of a stressed situation, it can be self-calming. The analogical kiss, the analog kiss. Do you remember that one, Annika? It's like
Yes,
with the mouth.
about that. That's like if you're attracted to someone.
Yeah. Oh, yes. But also if you just like something. Of course, if you're attracted to someone, it goes like really fast. So you have to be really, really on the spot and observing body language. And just a little reminder that if we want to observe someone else's body language, we have to be connected to our own body, or at least it helps. Because what happens is that the brain constantly tries to leave out the information. There's so much information coming at us that the brain tries to leave out what it thinks is not important. So if you're connected to your body, you feel your body, you're able to observe the person that you have in front of you and connect and get an honest communication. So analog kiss is a yes. Ring. Everything that has to do with jewelry, like touching, if you have like a necklace and people touch it, that is satisfaction. That is a yes. Moving your ring up and down like that is a huge yes. Satisfaction. Turning your ring like this has to do with family. Your client or your friend or your spouse might talk about their kids or their job, something that troubles them. They're gonna move it around like this. So up and down is a yes, pleasure. And I know it seems really weird. And probably some of you are thinking like, well, people, do they really kind of like do that? Yes, they do. Observe and you will be surprised. Don't take anything I say as the truth. Just try to observe it for yourself and let me know if what you observe. The tongue. Animals, they're like, so my dog, when I throw her a bone, she's gonna be like this, right? And kids, they will do the same thing. What are we having? What are we having for dinner? Are we having chocolate? I want chocolate cake. And they're kind of like licking their lips like this. The adults that have been properly instructed to be educated people in this world, they do this. It's just like a tiny lick that means, this is good. So I encourage you to think about something that's like that you really, really like chocolate cake or lasagna. And can you feel the saliva, Annika, like in your mouth? It's kind of like already coming in, right? Yeah. Did you say? It's like, yeah, that's good. So, yeah. So just think about something. Yes, you were telling the truth. Absolutely. Eyes down is a yes. So if I say yes, I move forward. Eyes down like this. It's really fast. That is super yes. Signs of no. The ones that we're going to look for, if we have a verbal no and a yes from the body, there's like we can ask again, right? Every situation, of course, is different. So you want to go into each single situation and observe it. And what we always want to remember is have a backup question. So like you have a follow-up question to figure out if it's really true or not true what they're saying. So signs of rejection. You're sitting at the table and maybe you're at a dinner and you have potential clients in front of you. You start talking about, what do we start talking about, Annika? Give me a topic.
We are talking about what to do with things when someone dies.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunately that's a topic that's very present for more people that we will want, right, in these times. Hey, Francesca, she's from New York. She's joining us from New York. I love the consultant community and everybody else that's joining because it's a worldwide community. So that's amazing. So we call them 5 dystonic points. And those are the things that we can talk about with people to connect with people on like a true, honest level. First thing is family, close family, mom, dad, kids, the people that have got to do with our family. Second topic is friends and acquaintances. Third one, partners. Fourth is career. And the fifth one is health. So those 5 topics, some people are going to be more interested in one of those topics than other people. So you want to try to kind of like put little seeds in there to see what could be interesting for the person that I am in front of. Of course, you can only totally go like, I'm an up person and I want to talk about whatever I want to talk about. But if you want to influence people and try to spread the job, the career, the message that you have, this is the way to have a chance at doing that. So we're talking about what to do with stuff when people are not here anymore. And the person in front of you starts moving back the fork, the knife, the glass. It's just tiny little movements, like you push things away. And what will you say right away? Okay, this is too much. This is not something that he or she wants to talk about at the moment. It might be too painful. Something might have happened, so I should not go there. And I will try to change the topic. So what could a different topic be?
The weather.
The weather is a safe one. right? The weather, you can talk to the weather, but yeah, but it's not, that's the interesting thing about communication. Because what if I have a farmer in front of me and he's dependent on the weather? That could be something really emotional. So always observe people's body language. Okay, so move objects away. We talk about the weather and they move the objects forward towards them. And yes, a little analogical kiss, and I can go forward with that. Lean back and cover up body parts is a no. Rubbing of the nose. This is so useful. So kids, they will go like this. They do it like in a really unfashionable way. And adults, they kind of like do this, or they can do this. And of course, as I said, this is another scratch. Last time, you always have to ask a follow-up question, because they could simply be having something on their nose. It could be itchy. What happens on a physiological level is that you have tiny little blood vessels under your skin, and they dilate when we have that emotional tension. And when you scratch it, it goes back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, I can see we have someone following on a Facebook. Please feel free to ask any kind of questions that you want. Just dot them in the chat box. Regroup, like doing this. Like kind of reset my shirt or whatever I'm wearing. I'm feeling uncomfortable. There's something that I'm not comfortable with. Remove lint. Like you have something like a little feather and it's been sitting here for 20 minutes. And I start talking about cleaning the home. And this person goes like, oh my gosh, I should have done it Friday. And it's Sunday today. I still haven't gotten around to doing it. I just wish I had done it Friday, because then I wouldn't have to think about it sitting here. And it stresses me completely. So removing lint. Hands on the hips is a definite no. It's like rebel. I do not want to do that. And when you close in your body parts, eyes up is a no. So I think it was Rudy that asked me the question about lying. So the thing is, when you start out with a person and if I don't know why you ask me that or why the other people ask me that, but it's you want to kind of like establish a baseline where people are not in tension, where they're comfortable, and that's why you want to choose a topic that is comfortable for them. And then when you go on to another topic that is what you really want to ask them, you can kind of decode if there's some kind of tension there. Front side is present and back side is past. Okay, we're going to look at all these, we call them iconic signs of tension that will give you, it doesn't, I would never say, you cannot tell if a person is lying or not lying. And most people, they're actually honest people and they want to tell the truth. What you can say is that if they're saying something and the body is saying something different, there's something there that you need to look into. If that is a scratch and a no from the body, it's let's call it serious business. Okay, you have to be sure. It can be anything. Let's see what question could we be asking, and we want to get an honest answer. Annika, do you have kids, Annika?
No.
No kids. So you're a full-time consultant, right?
No, I'm not. I have a company together with my husband since many years, and I will do this part of that.
Okay. So like me, part-time.
Sorry, Pellegrini is a very Italian last name.
Yes.
Oh, Francesca, thank you for butting in. That is true.
You are Italian? Are you Italian?
No, I'm Swedish.
Oh,
But
wow.
my husband is Italian, Swiss, Italian, and grew up in South Africa.
Wow.
So we're like a big salad with sale.
That's a lot of cultures for sure. Wow. Cool.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, Francesca, you're so welcome. Always appreciate it. Feel free to butt in whenever you want, really. So
Thank you.
let's say, let's take an example with school. Okay, did you do your homework or did you get that education? And so this scratching a wrist like that is career. Let's say you're asking a person, what could we ask, Anna? Are you happy with the job you're in right now? And they go, yes, I'm super happy. Maybe not. If we ask a follow-up question, because what can be going on is that the person might be really happy with the job, but not happy with the colleagues, not happy because it's in a city that she or he doesn't like. There can be so many factors why this is happening that we want to ask a follow-up question. So it could be like, oh, so it's a great job, and it's like, yes, but the hours, oh my goodness, I work 12 hours every day and it's just too much. Like, I love it, but I don't have time for anything else. So it's true that she likes the job and her career, but she doesn't like the hours. And that's I mean, I wouldn't categorize that as lying. So, but you have that possibility to go and see and dig deeper to figure out what is going on. Neck. So scratching neck like this is kind of heavy. This is where our larynx is situated, our whole breathing. This is our survival, let's call it survival organ. Whenever something happens, false vocal cords, they close in, and we're gonna feel something like this, like we cannot even speak if we're scared or if something is making us anxious. So when we do like this, there's something that is really troubling us. Let's say it like that. Question. What could it be? So I heard that you were moving next month. Is everything in place? Yeah, kind of. It's okay. Maybe not. Okay, maybe they're saying it's okay, but it's not. And you're like, oh, so when are you going to move? Do you already have everything in boxes? What is going on? There's like, oh, no, I ordered 50 moving boxes and they told me they ran out of boxes. So I'm like running around like a crazy person and looking for boxes. And this is what was expressed with this. Whereas if you don't observe this, you know, oh, okay, her movie's good, his movie's good, it's fine, and it's really not. And of course, people are not like just talking to you about all their problems, but what you can do is connect and make that empathy with the other person if you dig deeper and if you watch those, because that way you can I be of any help? You know, do you need help? I am a KonMari consultant or I am a coach. Do you need help? Is there any way that I can service you? And that's where you can build from there and you can grow your business. Scratches on the face. Like anything that's kind of like scratches like this is something that's troubling us. Francesca, ask me a question. Super consultant from New York. Yes. Super Italian consultant from New York.
A question about if a client is scratch.
No, ask me anything.
Or anything.
Not anything, Francesca. Don't start, okay? We're just having a conversation.
So if I know a client is going to lie to me, I know 100%. How should I don't want to be rude. I want to be polite. You know, she pay me. I cannot be rude. Her place, whatever, this place, whatever. So I can ask any question, or I don't know.
So
You know?
give me like a real situation. What happened? If you can share, of course, if you want to share.
Of course. For example, one of my clients, there are very old people. I feel, sorry, I'm not extraterrestrial, whatever, but I feel she's lying to me. I really feel it.
Okay.
So a part of me, I want to say, why you lie to me? Be honest with me. I cannot.
No, of course. You know
Okay?
what the thing is, Francesca, that most people, just as I said in the beginning, sometimes we think we want to do something and we say yes when we say no. So they're not actually lying. They're trying to either, how can you say, they're trying to not serve your need, but kind of like making you happy, because it's very difficult for a client because they don't really know the method and they want to make you happy too. Like they want to play by the rules. They want to show you that they're good clients. So she's not necessarily lying, but she may want to do more than she can. So last time the example was, let's say that you suggest that you can finish the whole like kimono category in one day, and she really wants to do that, or he really wants to do that, so she's like yes, and like this, because she's thinking about all the subcategories, and she's thinking about, I have to work and I might not sleep that night because lately I haven't been feeling that well. And what is your responsibility is like, meet her where she is and be like, if you think it's not enough, let's do 2 sessions and let's spread it out a little. And okay, just for me, doing sessions slower is, I like that better. Now, did you say I did the lip lick with that? So sometimes it's not that we push people, or it's just that we're really not connected with what we really want. And doing the tidying festival for all clients is something new, something they've never tried. So we have to guide them and be like, don't feel pressure to do it fast. You have to do it in your own tempo. It has to always spark joy for you.
Sometimes it's like I realize it's also a change myself. You know what I mean? Like something that I really like about the book of Marie Kondo, she tells us, don't judge.
Oh, it's the most difficult thing in the world, Francesca. It's the most difficult. Everybody. So if you ask an audience if they think they're more honest than 50% of the people in the room, 99% are going to raise their hand. That's a mathematical calculation that does not add up. So it's very, very difficult not to judge, because we do it all the time and we're taught to do it. And that's exactly why, if we go back and see how come, why it's so weird. Like, let's say someone comes down from Caritas, another planet in another solar system, and they don't know anything about the upbringing of humans and social rules. And they're like, why do you say no with your body and you say yes with your words? They're like experts in body language. Like, that's weird. Why don't you just say, it's because of that little word, ostracism. You remember we talked about that? Because we're scared of being excluded from the group. And that's why we're taught to, that's why Maria is so fundamental, because she goes in and she's like, if people, they give you something and it doesn't spark joy for them, it's okay to let it go and say thank you. That is one of, the biggest, when I read that, I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And when she then says that we don't want other people, would you want, if I give something to, let's say I give you something, Francesca, would I want you to keep it if you don't like it? No, I wouldn't. So it's like a circle of us trying to keep the other person happy, right? And observing the nonverbal can really tell you what's going on. Maybe she's really worried about something. So just try to dig in and figure it out. Is she worried about money? Is she doing this? Is she doing this? What is going on? Why does she feel that she has to say something that's not true? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Scratching your forehead. Oh, that's like, oh.
Just one question.
Of course, all the questions that you want.
Is it, I mean, it's also, it's not just what I found that people think that they have to say something that they don't feel. I think also a lot of people say something and they think they feel that, but they don't feel that, it's. it's because, like you said, we're so disconnected often to ourselves. So it's, yeah.
That's why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because if I've been in a job for like 20 years and I took that job because, it was there, I liked it, but it wasn't my dream. It wasn't what I dreamt of. And then I kind of like, time flies, right? It's like, what happened to the last 20 years? And I find myself in a place that I didn't want to be in. But, someone has to put bread on the table, and I might tell myself that I need that job or that I like that job, even though it's not true. You're exactly, that's completely to the point, Annika. And if you then observe your body, as a consultant or whatever job you do, it's like, oh, I said yes, but I actually mean no. What's going on with that? And then you can try to connect with yourself more. It is so difficult. We talked about it in a training class today, that as a kid, and I mean like no judgment to parents, everybody that knows me, they know that I am a parent. I made hundreds of thousands of mistakes, like hundreds of thousands. But all we want as a parent is try to give our kid what we didn't have. At least most parents, right? And we give them that education, like say thank you, be nice, don't shout, sit still, all those things to fit into society. But if Uncle Tommy comes over and he gives me a doll, and I'm like, I like to play in the trees, right? I want to climb the trees. I don't care about dolls. And I'm like, what does my mom and my dad say? They will say, oh, you don't say thank you? Oh, sure that Uncle Tommy, he won't bring you a present next time. He might just give a present to your sister or to someone else. And I'm like, oh, I don't want that, right? So I'm going to say thank you, even though I don't like it. And it's a really tricky conversation. And what we want is just get back to, what do I really wish to do? What do I want to? I think the pandemic has been very determining in a lot of people's lives in that sense. Like, we stop and we're like, okay, I don't know how much time I have left. That's something we all know, right? We say those phrases like, life has to end and everybody goes to the same place in the end, but we're not really aware of it to the extent that we go for our passions 100%. So
Yeah, I think also, all this has a lot to do with social conditioning, what we are supposed to think, and we build up this wall within, and it's not in sync with our values, with a lot of things that we do and say.
Exactly.
But we're used to say it, but actually within is something completely different.
And that's the amazing thing about this, Annika. We can change it. We have the possibility to change if we start with ourselves. The sages,
Yeah.
they say, if you want to change the world, go to your own corner and start there. And that is the amazing thing. Because it's also needed, Annika, to a certain extent. Gurdjieff calls this the false personality and the essence. And you have to use that. You have to have that false personality. You can't, if I'm working in a shop or I go to a client, we talked about this earlier today, I can't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I didn't sleep all night. Like, it's just, you cannot do that, right? Because you're there.
Isn't that more just being polite, having a little bit of manners? It's not about that you have to.
Yes, that's true.
Values, it's just common sense.
Yeah, it's common sense. You're right. That's what Gurdjieff calls it, playing a role. But what can allow you, Annika, to be a little more honest is, instead of like, playing the I'm super good, you can tell your client something that could sound like this or anything else that you would wish to say, like, you know what, I want to be honest with you. I had a night that I didn't sleep a lot, but I'm so passionate about my work. I'm going to push through with you today. But if you see me a little off, that's why. Okay, but I'm going to try to be there totally 100% for you. And she might be like, oh, do you want, okay, should we have an extra coffee in the middle of the day? And you're like, that's a great idea. And you connect right there. And you don't have to go through the whole session feeling that you have, because it can happen, My dog, she was in heat last week. It was, I mean, she starts to howl on the terrace every time an ambulance passes or a male dog. You're like, ooh, and I didn't sleep at all. But you know, people, they know that if you have kids, if you have dogs, you have parents, you know that you cannot sleep at night. So that's the honesty that we can get in there, so we can perform better and service our clients better. So the front, let's say you suggest 5 sessions to a potential client, and they're like, yeah, like this. It's like 5, you're going to go, you know, 5 maybe too much. Do you want to start out with 3? Yeah, that sounds good. Because there's something here that is not okay. Or you can say 5 sessions, but let's do it slowly and take 1 each month. And that's going to do. So if there's something here, it can be anything. You know, it can be that communion is coming up, the kid's birthday, spouse birthday, partner's birthday. It doesn't have to be that they don't want to do the sessions. There's just something there. So this is wrong. Back is worse. We talked about last time. This is like, oh man, this is not good. This is something that's really frustrating, and it could even be painful. So if like this, you're like, you know what, in the 5th category, if the 5th session, we're going to go through sentimentals, you know, all the 5 categories, we're going to go through those. And they're like, oh, don't even talk to me about sentimentals, because I don't even want to think about it. And that could be that one. Throat. When we do like this, it's something that we haven't digested. We say, so about lying. Did you do your homework? Did you do your chores? Did you finish that assignment for work? Did you buy the tickets for the play that we're going to go see on my birthday? And all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You know, they say yeah, and they go, and they look up. So this is a no. This is something that I digested. And they say yes. And they're thinking like, okay, I'm going to do it straight away when he or she is not here anymore. Is that lying? No, it's wanting to have done something that you haven't done and you feel like a fool, right? Because you should have done it and you forgot. Shoots. That is what the calendars and stuff is for. And that is how you can tell. So let's ask again and be like, did you buy the tickets? Did you do your homework? Yes. Cool. Either they're really good actors. Of course, if you have people that are really good at faking it, you have to check for that too. So when let's say you talk to your client and you gave them shoes and bags as homework after the first client, and you talk on the phone, and you're like, okay, so our session is coming up Friday or Saturday or whenever. How is your homework going? Yeah, I got something done. Okay, maybe not, maybe not, you know. Or if there's like a lowering of the voice, yeah, I got something done. It's like when you lower your voice like that, it's always more serious. When we're happy, we tend to have a voice like this, like, oh yeah, yes, I got it all done. My homework is so much fun. You know, I put all the bags on my shelf and this. Oh, you should see my shoes. They're just lined up like on Instagram. That is a super yes. Well, it's like, no, and they don't tell you anything. What they did, they probably didn't do it. And that is how you can be, okay, do you want an extra day? Do you want to reschedule? Because I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and have her or him call me and tell me they want to reschedule. I want to know as soon as possible, right? So all those iconic scratches, they tell us if there's coherence between what they're saying and what they're saying with verbally and what they're saying with their words. Be aware of the paraverbal, like if you have something that comes out like this, or they're just really happy in their voice, that's a huge thing. So money, let's talk about money. So Francesca, you are suggesting to your client that she paid 10,000 euros for 5 sessions. And they are like this. Do you remember what this means?
Any scratch?
Yes, but this one, it seems like I have huge arms when I'm on internet. I look like a falcon or something. So I'm gonna do like tiny like this. I can't wait to see you in person, by the way. It will happen someday, I swear, Francesca. Yes, prossimamente. So this is money that I have to pay, that I owe someone or that I have to pay. Okay? And this is money that someone owes me. No, it sounds really strange, but this is like 100% true every time. So I suggest to my client that they have 3 sessions or 5 sessions or whatever, and they're like, I'll think about it. And what is your follow-up question, Annika or Francesca? If he says that. Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah, so what do you want to think about, or do you have any questions still that I can answer?
Yeah. How much did you say was?
Well, it's 80 francs an hour.
But we can make any kind of payment if is maybe now is too much for you.
Okay.
We can.
Yes. So the thing is that I crashed with my car, and I just have so many expenses this month that I did not expect to have. So I would really like to do the sessions, but I just have to kind of like get past that first. So maybe we can start next month. And here comes the non-lying, Annika. Like the client maybe really wants to do the festival, but crash with my car or a dent, you have to go to the dentist. Everybody has like unexpected expensive. Of course, we have something aside for that, but it can be overwhelming, especially in these times. So we don't want to like discourage that. And if you see that there's always something that is luring behind the corner with money. Okay, so either you can offer them a discount or you can offer them a free gift. Do you remember if the dystonics of dystonics, what did I say? Like gin tonic, whatever. The dystonics of To Be, if they want the discount or they want the free gift. Do you remember there's a difference between the ones that are longers and the ones that are getters? Okay, so the ones that are longers are the people that, if they want to buy a car, they go to the car sales dealer, and they look at the car, and then they go online and they check out the car and they compare if it has 5 doors or 4 doors, and how many kilometers the car can do on a liter of gas and so on. They really want to get into it and they research. Those are the longers. And they want the discount. That's why in the supermarket you always have a discount and a free gift. There, if you buy 3 instead of 2, you have the discount and a free gift, because you have to make both people happy, right, Francesca? And
in this case, you suggest to give a discount, but a real discount.
Yes, you can choose to do that if you want. It depends on how much you want the client, or you can try first with payments that are like, maybe a payment every month. You know that what is blocking this client is money. It's not time, or there can be so many things that block a client from, they don't really want to commit. They're not sure they can make it through the festival. They're not sure that the people around them in the house are going to be happy if they do the festival. They don't think they have enough time. But if you see these signs or this sign, it's probably money blocking them. So if it's this, that is money that someone owes me that I need to collect. What would you say, or what could you suggest?
Oh, I want to sound that I'm very busy. I want to lie.
No, you don't lie, Francesco. You do not lie. No, 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 no. I'm teaching you nonverbal communication for honest communication. Come on, girl.
But if they say, like you said, that they would like to start next month, for me, that would also be fine. And I could also say, okay, that's perfectly fine. I understand your situation. And why don't we just make book the first session?
That's super.
And then you can prepare yourself. And by me, it would be anyway that they would pay after every, you pay after every session. So it's not like one clump.
Of course. Okay,
Yeah.
that's super. And this, so if you do this, you can hint if you want to get paid up front, you can say this is my business and I get 50% upfront. And he or she might say, oh yes, I want to do that too in my business because I have clients hanging that haven't been paying me for 6 months. So I completely understand that. You can do this if they do this because they know how you feel.
Mhm.
And that's the difference between the two. You have to have two completely different approaches to get there. And that means that you get 50% upfront, right? And you can do that with a client like this. And you can't do it with the other client. Okay. Of course, doing any kind of getting back to knowing if people are telling you the truth of how they really feel. Let's say we have like our conscience. Let's take the body language as that for now. General emotional tension signs. And those are the signs that also tell us that there's something going on here and I need to dig deeper. A nervous smile. Did you make the payment? Anything that you want to ask a partner, spouse, friend, whatever. Yeah. It sounds a little weird when you have to do it like I'm not an actor. But they do like, it's just like a little nervous smile. Yes. It is nervous, like you feel nervous and there's something going on there, so you want to ask a follow-up question. Okay, can I see the receipt? And they're like, no, not right now. It's like, I'll show it to you tomorrow. I'm exaggerating, of course, but read other. Swallowing like this, like it's difficult to swallow something. Let's take like a normal everyday example. I did the dishes yesterday, so you're gonna do them tomorrow, right? Yes. It's like, I hate doing the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. And it's just a way, to say, if you swallow, figure out something else. Do the chores that the other one hates, and the other one does the chores that you hate. That was a little family advice in there that I have experienced on my own flesh. So, jazzy eyes, like they're going really fast like that. This could be a sign of you having to, let's say, like step down, just completely change the subject, because this is like not a good sign. We want to get the client away from that. Jaw tension, yeah, sure. Oh, remember to pick up this or that. Did you pick up the? Do you have the? How do you say, like the discarding bags? Yeah. Yes, I did it. Oh, damn it, I didn't do it. Oh my God, I forgot. It's like the jaw tension. It's like, oh, shoot, I didn't do it. Now she's going to come. You call her like, I'm on my way. I'm in the train. I'm going to be at the train station in 10 minutes. Remember to do the bag. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get you now. Okay, super. And of course, most of us, we always bring our own discarding bags just in case. Nose breathing. Like this. When do we do this? Like when we run, perspiration like that is stressful. There's something stressful there. Voice that is lower or voice that is higher. Any kind of change in voice. And that's why, people that are actually interrogation officers or work in that business, they always establish a baseline. So this is my Lucas baseline voice. So if you ask me, did you go run today, Lucas? You said you would, because those COVID kilo, they gotta come down. Like they gotta go down. It's like, yes. that was actually natural because I did not today. Okay, so any kind of pitch change? Yes. Oh, of course I did. Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course. I promised myself that I'd go run, so of course I would run. You probably didn't. Blush, paleness, sweating, dry mouth, and goosebumps. Those are all kind of like heavy variations that we want to be really careful about. It could actually be during any kind of category, Annika, but often it's during the sentimental. You can have something that is really, really difficult. And if you see any of these neuro variations, that might be one of those moments where you want to open the window, you want to go take a break, just breathe, go have a tea, and just move away from it instead of digging in. If you have the other signs from before, wrist, neck, face, front, palms, and so on, you can move into that. Whereas if you have those neurological, general emotional tension signs, we want to kind of like, okay, she needs a break or he needs a break. The eyes, do you remember this? This is, Francesca, tell me that you remember this. This is crying, like the kid is like, and the adult is like, the adult that has been taught how you behave in society. We do this. And this is really, yes, this is crying and this is pain. Pain and cry. And if it's like this, it's like really, that is something that is really hurtful or stressful. When, let's say, we do the sentimental category, or it can actually be any category. Okay, let's say we talk about, we tell our client about the categories. We have clothes and we have books and we have papers, and you get a sign like this. And then we have kimono, and then we have sentimentals. Is there any of these categories? Like paper can be really difficult for most people. And they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much paper. It's just incredible. Because this little sign tells me that there's something going on there. It doesn't have to mean that it's going to take longer. It just means that there's some emotional tension attached to that. It could be anything. Like for me, it's my sheet music. I have so much sheet music that I actually think it's almost become a sentimental category because I sing so little these days, which is really, so it can be anything. And we did this. So let's repeat them for a second. Money that you have to give, that you owe. Money that someone owes you. Crying. And it's just like, it can be just like a little act. It's just, if you watch the super movies with super actors, you will watch these signs all the time. They do them all the time. Pain. Like thoughts of things that you've been thinking about a lot. Like pain, let's say we have the paper category, and there's a lot of notes from maybe an education that our client didn't finish. and you know there's something there, and you can like, okay, so was this hard for you? Did you not, what happened there? Why did you not get to finish? And for me, it will be like, yeah, well, you know, life happens, and not always you end up where you want to end up. Okay, is it something that you need to let go of, or is it something that you're really passionate about still? And do you want to pursue that education that you stopped? And that's where these come in. Because Annika, if you didn't, and Francesca and whomever is listening, if you see like a licking of the lips, analogical kiss, moving forward, hair touching their hair, something like this, when you talk about that education, well, why don't you just take it? You can do online education now. There's like no limits out there, and maybe that's the push he or she needs to go through it. Whereas you see like, no, it's not, it's not something that I don't think I would pursue. Okay, you leave it be, and that's it, because she's telling you with her body language and her words or his words that they don't want to go through that. Any kind of scratching and throat is the most important one, because it's like I'm literally protecting my vital organ. If someone hits me really hard here, and they know how to do it, that's the end of Lugge, right? So when I put my hand here, it's for protection. Moving away, clearing my throat, swallowing, like this. The double, a pain like this, anything that's closing in. And that's what we talk about so many times, that we're actually, everybody is a nonverbal expert. We just tend to not apply it first of all to ourselves, and really actively to figure out how can we connect with that person that's in front of us. Who is he or she really? That's what it's all about. We want to be honest, and we want them to tell us what they really feel. And we want to be able to feel what it's like you said in the beginning, Annika. Sometimes we think we want something, and we don't. Or we believe something that we actually don't believe. Okay, we're coming to an end. Any other questions? And thank you for joining.
Thank you for doing this.
You're
It
welcome.
was very interesting.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any questions for next time. Next time we will look at the shield and the sword and the crown type of. Sorry? It's going to be always on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Up until now. Yeah, I asked the Indian consultants and the Australians, and I think I have to do like in the morning, which is not ideal for me, but we'll see. We'll see, because the consultant community is just so wide and it's all over the world, so we have tons of different time zones, but we'll figure out something. So, but from as of now, every Thursday at 9 o'clock, and the replay will be available on my Facebook page and in the group and on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye, both of you. And I'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye, Francesca. What time is it at your place, Francesca?
Say again?
What time is it now in New York?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Afternoon.
Ok.
Oh, posso dirti una cosa piccola?
Ma certo.
Innanzitutto mi fa tanto piacere vederti.
Devo chiudere la stream o lascio aperta la stream così gli italiani ci sentono? Chiudiamo la stream.